guys. For those of y'all that don't know, my name is Alexis. I just want to talk today about kind of how I understand why I am where I'm at in my life. So basically, I grew up in a small town right outside of Memphis, Tennessee, in West Memphis, Marion, Arkansas. I basically call it one town, but it's technically two. Honestly, you can't even tell where the lines end for both the towns, so I say it as one entity, kind of. Where I grew up, it was farm life, but also thug life. So you had a straight mixture of both of them, and sometimes you couldn't even tell the difference between the two because I feel like a lot of people fell into the same category, because of their families, of course. So I grew up middle class, as kind of lower middle class though. So I made enough to get by, but I wouldn't be considered lower class because I didn't depend on the government for assistance. I didn't depend on missionaries for anything like a lot of people in my town did. There were a few outliers where they were considered upper class. We had very few of those. It's usually the farm families, so I can name about 3 different farm families. Those are the rich people, you can usually tell. But yeah, I was considered middle class, and I understood that being middle class and being a white female, I've always been I've been given advantages in life. I understand that I've been considered privileged, and growing up in my town, it's allowed me to see that. I feel like if I had grown up anywhere else, I wouldn't have noticed that, or if anything, I probably wouldn't be labeled middle class. I'd probably be lower class, but I know that where I was living at the time, I was considered privileged. I'm not so sure about here what I'd be considered, but so it's allowed me to be more humble about myself. I've been told many times that I have this privilege, and I've accepted it. I know I have it, and I try not to abuse it. I try to take it in a way of oh, okay, I have it, therefore I'm gonna do better with it. I want to I've never been I've never held myself back from making any sort of relationships with any types of people. Where in my school there were a lot of gang affiliations, but honestly my friends treated me I was a normal person, and I treated them like a normal person, therefore I didn't quite know a lot of them were even part of gangs. But in my town, a lot of people fell into that kind of hole because it's just the only thing they grew up around, the only thing they know, and so they really can't help it. And I just pray for these people every day. Also, I can tell you a story. It's kind of funny. I remember in junior high, I personally didn't deal with it, but what was surrounding me constantly was this huge war, I guess you could say, in the school between the rednecks and the thugs, as they call themselves. Basically, there was constant fighting between the two, and they hated each other. They always made racist comments to each other, and I just was open to that all the time. And then high school came along, and for some reason, a lot of the rednecks became sort of thuggish. They all kind of joined these gangs, and they all became one person. So that's where I meant we all kind of meshed in, because those who originally were against them became them. And so by high school, everybody was either part of the thugs or they kind of just kept to themselves. I was one of those people that kind of just kept to myself. I kind of just stood on my path in life, where I knew it was just school, getting my resume built up, and then going to college. I didn't really focus much on social life, though I did have friends. I just didn't really care to hang out much, So I have definitely used that to my advantage in life. I understand my role in the society because myself, I know that I am privileged, but I can use that for a good reason. And I also know all the hardships in life. I've witnessed them all, and that's really made me who I am. So